Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Got a great one lined up for today. And I think, again, really just wanted to reach out to this individual because essentially has just been an inspiration during what has been such a challenging time for a lot of us, and has taken the initiative and been proactive. And basically, I'm going to be chatting to someone by the name of Pie Aerts, and he is a photographer based in Europe. And he has co-founded an organization called Prince for Wildlife, and they have raised, wait for it, close to $500,000 by partnering with a number of photographers around the world, and selling prints online to raise money for national parks in Africa, and supporting both the people and wildlife that are associated with those national parks. So let's see if I can get P on the line here, and we can hear more about this incredible organization that he has co-founded, and maybe learn a little bit more about him too. How you doing, mate?
Hey, James.
Good to chat to you.
Yes. It's happening. Why you're in the car? Where are you going?
Yeah, mate. I've got kids at home, so finding a quiet, controlled environment has proven to be quite challenging.
This is the best. It's a good
Yeah,
start, though.
we actually welcomed our second child. My wife had a daughter about 6 weeks ago, so all very real.
Nice. So where are you living?
I'm in Cape Town.
Oh, nice. How's the situation?
Yeah, it's tough. We've just gone down to level 2, which has made things a little easier. But like you guys, and being involved in travel and tourism, it's been incredibly tough because we don't know when we're going to be able to travel again.
So they say is the peak happening right now in Cape Town?
Yeah, it was supposed to happen, but I'm just going to plug in my earphones here because I can hear myself. Yeah, so we've already experienced our peak, and we've actually got a downward trend at the moment, which is encouraging. And I think, yeah, again, just the biggest challenge for us is not having an idea when international travel is going to be allowed. But yeah, the population is pretty happy because the alcohol ban has been lifted as of today. So
Domestic
yeah,
travel is back on track. All domestic travel.
correct. Which is great news. And a lot of our national parks as well as our private game reserves have actually opened their doors, and are offering South African rates, for guests. So that's definitely a positive move forward. Yeah.
So how dependent is South Africa on international tourism versus domestic?
Huge. Yeah, huge. Yeah, I mean, Cape Town's an international destination, and you find most people who are coming to Africa on safari are including Cape Town as part of that itinerary, and yeah, I mean, tourism is absolutely massive, and obviously important in terms of our economy actually running smoothly.
Yeah, just like the rest of Africa.
Yeah, no, sure. But again, it's just it's an honor to chat to you, P, and thanks again for making the time. I think it's people like yourself who have kind of led an example, during a very challenging time, and I was just absolutely shocked at how well your campaign had run, how much you had managed to raise, and how many people you managed to get excited about supporting this campaign.
Yeah. Well, it's a big team effort, though. It's like there's many people, more people involved than what you see on Instagram. Meanwhile, we have like I'd say a 15 people team running the campaign. So it started as a small dream back in March. I mean, me and Marion, I'm running for the people that don't know, I'm running the campaign together with an Austrian photographer called Marion Parr. So we've both been chatting since the beginning of this pandemic about the impact it was actually having, not only on animals, but also on community level in Africa. And we both were dreaming up ideas of maybe raising funds. And suddenly it became a thing, and it escalated. Well, I'd say it escalated quickly. So it all started as a conversation between me and Marion of like about the impact it was really having. And now we're 5 months fast forward in time, and it completely it conquered the world, I would say, in a very, very beautiful way. So it's beautiful to see that the whole world accepted that whole business model of selling prints for conservation, which to this degree has never been done before. So it's amazing to see all the support from dozens of countries around the world. It's incredible.
Awesome, man. I think most people don't realize just how dependent, a lot of conservation organizations are on tourism. So often, these tourism entities have a conservation arm, and without people actually visiting Africa, there's a massive lack of funding with regards to various conservation organizations and good work being done in Africa.
Yeah. Well, funds are drying up. So, in the beginning, we were discussing whether we should choose African Parks as a partner or not, but it became pretty obvious from the first minute that we wanted a very much of a community focus in this whole project. So very much of a people focus, not necessarily only wildlife. And African Parks seem to be the perfect organization to partner with, since they put, if you ask me, I'm sure you can agree, they put people first all the time. And if you see the impact it's having now on wildlife, that originates with the impact it's having on people. And that's something people around the world are misunderstanding. Well, currently less than a few months ago, but back in March when we started, when I was chatting to friends or chatting to other photographers, it was not obvious at all that this whole pandemic would have a negative impact on wildlife rather than a positive one on nature, right? So we first started educating people from the kickoff on July 26th, we started educating people about the cause. And now there's a big momentum happening, not only in media, but globally, I think. I see CNN, BBC, all the big media outlets are now writing about the negative impact it's having currently on wildlife. So it's beautiful. The timing couldn't be more right. And by the time we were launching, it all started to happen internationally and it was really gaining momentum. So the timing was beautiful.
And so African Parks again was a good fit because I think they've got close to 18 national parks. Their goal, as you say, is to protect and manage national parks around Africa long into the future. Working together with communities and government.
Yeah, so they're managing 18 parks in 11 countries, which is a bit over 14 million hectares. So it's huge. And it's mostly done in the vulnerable corners, right? They're based in places like Congo, in Central African Republic, in Malawi, in Benin, in Chad. So it's not the obvious safari countries, which I believe is an amazing way of integrating conservation into vulnerable places. And they work together with local governments, which is a beautiful way of including people in the solution. And I mean, what you see now happening is lots of big conservation organizations are actually suffering big time because of that drop in tourism, but because of the involvement within local communities and on government level, African Parks is just continuing their entire business model as usual, with slight adjustments left and right. But so they keep on employing rangers in the park. They keep on making sure job security is ensured. They keep on putting out safe and healthy measures. So it's a beautiful way to support an organization that is very widespread geographically, but also deep into the veins of local communities. So it was the right pick, if you ask me. So.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think so many, conservation organizations are feeling the pinch at the moment who are completely dependent on donors and are rethinking their strategies and models with regards to how to incorporate, communities and how to incorporate a sustainable model that doesn't necessarily, not allow for funding, but actually find other ways of generating income. But they must be blown away, when they realized just how quickly you guys were generating, dollars. I mean, I just can't believe how much funding you've managed to generate through selling prints.
Yeah, so the initial idea was never to make it explode in this space. The initial idea was to help. We just wanted to help. And our first target was $100,000, and we made that in the first 3 days. And then we were like, okay, so now we started something. Now this is going to be big, And then we kept on pushing and we kept on dreaming, and it's been a journey to, well, not only to, I mean, the success of this campaign is completely dependent on the involvement of all 120 photographers by now. And we started with a very small core team of 25, 30 photographers. That was it. And it grew along the way. So the whole support we've been receiving along the way with the community spirit, the energy is something I never witnessed before. And I'm into community building for years now, and on several platforms in several ways. And it just exploded in the best possible way. And people they were on it like from the first minute, and it grew tremendously in the first 1-2 weeks. And now, well, as you said in the beginning, we gained 450,000 US dollar now, and it just keeps on growing. So $500,000 is within reach towards the end of the campaign, which is it's an amazing effort. Yeah.
No, it's unbelievable, man, and hats off to you guys. For those of you who are following us, I see, there are people tuning in from Papua New Guinea, from India, from all over the world, from America. Mr. Nodal just tuned in from the US. If you've got any questions for Pie, please don't hesitate to post them, and we'll try and get to them. But I think it'll be interesting to find out from you, these funds that you're generating. Again, it's not small change. What will these funds be used for?
Yeah, so the initial focus was on setting up the campaign and raising the funds, and now we're slowly moving into that stage of explaining people what we use the money for, which is a big responsibility. I mean, when you collect funds in this range, I believe you should direct people a bit towards where you're going to use the money for. So we will release that information in the next, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks. Pointing out several small projects where we use immediate funding, and a few bigger projects where we use long-term funding for. But $500,000, I'm sure you can agree, goes a long way in a place like Africa. So we're gonna find it out along the way. But African Barge is now working on a draft which we use as a foundation to explain people and carry them in the journey of showing where the funds will be used for.
That's amazing. And again, just African Parks. I mean, the reason why you partnered with them was because they obviously have such a great reputation. Because in terms of just, if you could just reiterate just the size, in terms of the size that they cover with the national parks in Africa, and the fact that they do collaborate with both government and communities, they just were the perfect fit for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, in many different ways. I mean, I just explained the whole people first philosophy, but also the geographical spread, but also on executional level. The support we've been getting from their local Johannesburg team, but also they got a small fundraising office in Amsterdam, and we've been having volunteers within the print lab. I'm now sitting in the print lab. I can give you a little tour in a minute. So the support we've been getting on an executional level is absolutely insane. So in many ways, it was and it still is a beautiful way of working together in just raising funds for conservation. And let me show you a bit of I prepared some stuff. Maybe I can turn around the camera. Let me see. Right, here we go. So this is a few examples of prints we've been selling over the last few weeks.
Beautiful.
So just to give you a little bit of an idea of the work we're doing. The paper we're using is all Hanemühle, fine art paper. It's a German paper distributor. They're all sponsored the paper, so that's a beautiful thing. So
is that how you've been able to keep $100 for these incredible prints? I mean, that's quite a bargain. Your relationship with Hanemühle, I mean, was that how you were able to keep the costs relatively low? Because I assume that's what you wanted to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, so we're working with a local print lab, which is also my personal print lab. So I've been doing my personal print work as a photographer for years with this lab. So I had a quick access to these guys, and they've been bringing down their rates tremendously. So we not only had the paper sponsored, but also the entire handling and packing operation is almost completely sponsored. So that means $100 per print. The majority of the money, it's like 100% of the proceeds minus that little sliver of printing costs goes towards conservation. So it's beautiful to see that not only we are dedicating time and effort, but also these guys. Like I show you a bit it's a huge lab. So
wow,
these are the packing tables. That's like the entire building. So what's actually nice to see, the last batch of the day is currently being cut on the cutting machine. that's something great to witness. I'll show you in a bit. Hang on.
They must have their work seriously cut out for them, especially with you guys not realizing just, how well people would have responded to this initiative.
Exactly. So the entire operation is now a fully Prince for Wildlife operation. So this is an
No worries.
automatic fine art paper cutter, which is almost 24/7. There is like new work coming off the machine, which is amazing.
Yes, look at those beautiful colors. So you've basically partnered with photographers from all over the world who have obviously offered their prints, and I see some of them have already sold out because you've kept some of them to a limited edition.
Yeah, so we've been partnering with. We currently have 145 images in the store, of which 1/3 is sold out. So how the system works is twice a week we adding new batches. So on each Thursday and each Sunday we adding 10, 15, 20, sometimes 25 new images, just to keep the momentum going and to keep surprising people. And so there's a whole philosophy behind it, and that only existed after finding out that the whole world was actually interested in buying this. So the initial idea, as I said, was to just launch a batch and just see what happens, and then we had to readjust slightly to keep up with the demand. And now we found a system that brings us 2 new batches a week. Sometimes the same photographers, but new work, sometimes completely new photographers. And the beauty of the campaign, I believe, is that we have a very, very good mix of some of the best fine art, high-key wildlife photographers in the world, and young emerging talent from African countries, Kenya, Rwanda, Botswana, and South Africa. So it's a beautiful balance between fresh eyes, fresh work, and work that everybody knows for a very affordable price. So the model works very well, and we keep entertaining people with new prints. So the last big batch is going to be released this Sunday, August 23rd. That's going to be a big day, and then we're hopefully going out with a bang on August 26th.
Awesome, because it only runs for a month. Is that correct in terms of the selling of the prints?
Yeah, it would be a beautiful way. It would be a beautiful thing to run permanently by now, So, but the workload is huge, and I think going out with a big bang without knowing what will be next is a beautiful thing. And then we readjust and we just see where this whole idea is bringing us. I don't know. Maybe there will be a second edition. Maybe there will be local, regional editions. We just see. I mean, the platform is built now. The community is very active and eager for more. But we have to draw a line somewhere. So, and that line will be drawn on August 26th. So the entire duration is 1 month, July 26th, August 26th. And we see what's next. Nobody knows yet, but we will come back at least sooner than later with more news and more information.
Awesome, P. I mean, from someone who, we do a lot of work at Blackbean with regards to, documenting conservation work on the ground through film. And, I know firsthand just how desperately, Africa and protected areas need support, especially during this time. So I take my hat off to you and the team. And, if people who joined the conversation today can obviously support you, please tell us how we can do that.
So if you go to Prince for Wildlife on Instagram, you'll find a beautiful landing platform where people gather, where we put up daily images. You can also go to our website, which is princeforwildlife.org, which is the main landing page. And as I said, we are currently preparing a huge new batch for the upcoming weekend. All the prints are 100 US. Shipping varies per country. So it's easy. You can just pick what you want. We got pretty much all species covered. We got almost all corners of Africa covered. And if you want something in specific, please let me know in person. I'll see what I can do. So we're very open for suggestions from all parts of the world, in fact. So easy to find.
Well, Pete, thanks so much for your time. We've also in my Instagram handle in my bio, we've put a link to the website which you guys can go check out. You've also got an Instagram page called Prince for Wildlife. Guys, go check out the page and obviously follow them, because I think it would be great to, a lot of people are asking questions with regards to, what the money will be used for, and I think obviously you'll keep the community updated with regards to that process, because I think that's such exciting information, and it's so great to see obviously where the money is going. And again, just take my hat off to you and the team for just being so proactive during such a challenging time, and yeah, encourage everyone who's listening to support you guys.
Thank you very much. I mean, when you look at where the funds will be going, I would love to give more information right now, but the last weeks were a big roller coaster. So now, as soon as the dust is settling down after August 26th, we will come with a big plan and further carry people on that journey within the little community we founded. So there will be more information released soon. Immediate support is needed in many parks, in many corners, and all the funds are in the right hands within African parks. I'm sure everybody understands that. So we just need a little bit more time. The entire operation is completely built on a voluntary basis, so we work with volunteers. So if there's people maybe willing to support us who live close to Amsterdam, feel free. We need your help. We need your assistance. We're working with 6 to 10 volunteers a day right now in the whole within the packing operation, so we can use a little extra hands, especially next week. So if you feel like you want to earn some karma points, this is your chance. No,
No, magic.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful. The last few weeks have been amazing. It shows you that there is still hope. If you look at the way people came together now, not only photographers, but the entire community of wildlife enthusiasts, of like-minded people with a passion for Africa, with a passion for wildlife. It somehow served as a very bright light at the end of a very dark tunnel, I think, for everyone. So I think that's the beauty of the campaign, and art can be such a healing and soothing tool in these pandemic times. It's like it's been amazing to see the power of visual arts now, and especially the power of community. So it was a great honor to get a bit of airtime to share the story.
No, well, awesome, and again, congratulations to you guys. I think people don't realize just how much hard work goes into these campaigns. It's not just about calling a couple of photographers up and off you go. There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, and I've seen just from the stories. In terms of where you're based now at the Print Studio, guys working 12-hour shifts to get things done. So.
And it's heat wave right now happening. Not anymore, but last week I'm not kidding, it was 42 degrees in the lab. And these volunteers, they kept on coming, one after the other. So they were just sacrificing beach days for packing prints. And that's just one example, but I could call out like a million examples of these little stories all happening within this whole campaign, which is just beautiful. So there is still hope. And I think that's something which is important to radiate as well, rather than all the negativity and all the drama in the media these days. There is still hope for conservation. There is still hope for Africa. There is still hope for wildlife, and just as long as we keep fighting for it, then it happens.
Yeah, and I think so often, people want to be able to support and assist. And, this is one way in which everyone who has an interest in, protecting these natural resources can get involved and actually, tangibly be able to assist, with such an important cause. So you've given them that opportunity, and I think people are grateful for that,
Yeah. And I get something back in return. I mean, it's not a simple donation. You get value back, which is a beautiful way of raising funds. So it's not only donors that give money, but it's prints that can hang in homes. And I mean, it's not only, this is also great in terms of awareness. It's not only because of the funds we're raising, but I got so many messages, and all the people within the team, we got so many messages from people that were pointing out, I didn't even realize X, Y, Z. I didn't even know prints for wildlife could be beautiful to hang in my home, la, 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 la. I didn't even know this about this species. So it's just in terms of awareness, it's also huge, which is also a big win.
Absolutely, and I think also just to encourage the people who have tuned in today to go check out African Parks. They do such phenomenal work, and obviously this is the partner who is affiliated with Prince for Wildlife. And they as an African and someone who lives in South Africa, obviously very aware of the phenomenal work they do in not only protecting national parks, but also having a long-term vision for these parks so that they stick around by working with communities and governments. So again, P, thanks so much for your time, and I'd love to encourage everyone to support this amazing initiative.
Thank you very much for your time, James. Likewise.
I'm going to leave off. There's an amazing comment. I thought art is so universal, like music. So rock on, and I think that's so true.
That's the spirit. That's the right
Yeah.
energy, man.
All right, my man. Well, yeah. Have an
Done.
amazing week, and we'll continue following with keen eyes on the progress.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're getting close to 500,000, so that's going to be a big announcement. So we got a few big things in store for the next few days, and there is another 9 days of the campaign happening. So plenty enough time for people to tune in and support.
Fantastic stuff. All right, brother. You take care and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time, man.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, buddy.